Good morning, ladies. We are on video number 8, and we are in chapter 4 of the Crave book. And just wanted to clarify, when I say video number 8, it doesn't really correspond with the devotionals that I'm posting outside of this. The pictures of the devotional from the devotional book. Those are just for y'all to have if y'all want to use that for your quiet time. But they don't correspond with what I'm sharing in here. I'm simply sharing from the book Made to Crave, and I may sometimes do through videos over one chapter, and so the number of the video is just to know where you are at, where you listened to last and where you are now. And so like I said, so we're in video number 8, but we're in chapter 4 of the book. So this chapter I really like because it really ties into what this group is about. And the title of this one is called Friends Don't Let Friends Eat Before Thinking. I love that because I think that's the hardest part right there is thinking before we do it. We just go off the cuff and or go with our emotions and eat what we want before reaching out. And that's what this accountability group is to know in the back of our mind that we will be going back to these girls and going back to these friends that we're making and being held accountable. And so the more we do that and the more we push ourselves to stay accountable, the more that will be more prevalent when we have those temptations and we stop and think about it. And because each of us is a source of encouragement for the others. And so that really helps me. Being part of this group has really helped me because when I'm thinking about being bad, I think of how I could possibly let the rest of you down, because you may be looking to me. Yeah, I'm human and I'm gonna fall, and I will share that so that you don't feel that when you do fail, that you're the only one that does it. We're all going to fall, but we get back up and we look to each other for encouragement. So that's what I like about this chapter. Just friends holding each other accountable. So if at times it seems like I'm pestering you, just know that I'm not doing that to heap shame and guilt on you. It's just to remind you why you joined this group and to remind you why you started, or to remind you to think about why you started in this group. What did you want coming into this? Don't forget the plans and the goals that you had for yourself. You just keep coming back and keep trying each day. And little by little, we'll be changing these bad habits by thinking things over first before proceeding, instead of letting our emotions and our feelings lead us by our nose. That we'll stop and think before. And, through this, we become a new creation through the power of God, through His strength that He offers us. And her other primary focus is on 3 words that come from a song she quoted at the beginning of the chapter. It's Stop in the Name. I'm not going to try to sing it. You don't want me to sing it. A song by the Supremes, Stop in the Name of Love Before You Break My Heart. Think it over. And so she says in the book, she says, I wonder how many bad choices and severe consequences could have been averted if that 3-word statement had been applied. Think it over. Sometimes we can muster up the gumption to think it over on our own and redirect our steps away from the slippery slope of compromise. But more times than not, we need measures of accountability. For me, one of the most effective accountability measures has been mutual tracking progress with friends. I have one friend, Mary Beth, who started ahead of me and who has been an invaluable source of encouragement and perspective. She's the one I mentioned earlier who leaned across the table and said, if you do this healthy eating plan, it will work. I clung to that statement when I had a little breakdown. I really love that. So I encourage you to use this group, to lean into this group, and instead of letting others' progress highlight your failures, let it encourage you. Let it inspire you and get you to a place where you can dust yourself off, pick yourself up, and or vice versa. Pick yourself up, dust yourself on, and press on and try again without looking behind you at the times you might have felt. Just keep pressing on. But like I said, I encourage you to lean into us in this group and lean into God more through this. Let's see. I'm looking at my notes here. So, we have all failed at putting God first, putting our health first, everyone. And, sorry, I keep losing my train of thought because I have so many things I want to say about this chapter. So I said, we have all failed at putting God and our health first, or we wouldn't be here. So yeah, we're all in the same boat. We would not be here if we weren't all struggling with this. So be reminded of that when you have those self-condemning thoughts. And then embarrassed to come to the group and be transparent about your failures and strengths and failures and everything. We struggle each day to keep first things first. We all do. So lean in and draw strength from your tribe, your people. You know, I don't know about you, but it's hard to find a group of women like we have here. Women that have the same mindset that we want to be better for our families. We want to be better for God. We want to take better care of our bodies and our mind and our spirits. And in a world where there is so much self-gratification, in a world where it's all about me, and being happy, it's a breath of fresh air to be in a group of women who know there's more to that there's more to being happy. There's a joy and a peace that comes from living a life that pleases God, living a life where we're caring for our body and our temple and putting things in it that don't, the healthy things can make us happy, but when we quit looking to being happy and fill our body with the things that will make us better and stronger and healthier and equip us with the energy that we need to make it through each day. And so I encourage you to embrace this group in your people, in your tribe, because there's probably not many other places out there in the world other than a church, or you may be in a group, a small group or whatever. But it's really hard to find your people, and so embracing this and reach out to each other. So I'm gonna read something else that she shared that I really like. It's a little long. She says, and this is so important to remember this. This is where, to me, I feel like we get on this train and we all get started off fine. We all start off just on fire and ready to do this thing. And then at some point, our train gets derailed. And sometimes we don't take the time to look back and investigate what caused that derailment. And when we do, it gives us insight into being prepared for that for the next time. And she kind of goes into the reason, and I learned a lot from this. I think I've known this in the past, but I forget about it so easily. And it's funny because me and a friend of mine were just discussing this the other day, because we're both feeling sick and not feeling real well. All right, so she says, the first 3 weeks of my new eating plan, things went well. I only struggled with being hungry the first 10 days. Things were smooth sailing until the start of week 4. At that point, I think my body went through sugar withdrawals. I'm not kidding. All of my systems were out of whack. I felt like I had the flu one day, severe allergies the next, and then stomach issues for a week after that. I might have thought I had some kind of terrible sickness, except I didn't. It was definitely my angry little self demanding I give my body some sugar now. So true. We must be aware that desperation breeds degradation. In other words, when what is lacking in life goes from being an annoyance to an anxiety, we run the risk of compromising in ways we never thought we would. I find it interesting that a verse many of us know and quote, how the devil prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour, is tucked right at the end of a passage that says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Be self-controlled and alert. 1 Peter 5:7-8. You see, when we determine to get healthy, we will have to give up certain things and change our habits. Doing this can make us feel anxious. That's why we must have friends to help us remember that what we're giving up in the short term will help us get what we really want in the long term. If we forget to be self-controlled and alert, we are a prime target for Satan to usher us right away from the new standards we've set in our life. That's degradation. Yes, degradation or desperation breeds degradation. I love that so much. That is so, it's just a very important reminder that we push through, that when we get to that place, and what we were talking about more also on the medical side of things is as we are detoxing from the bad stuff, we're getting that out of our system and we're working out, our body kind kind of goes through withdrawals, and you're getting all of this nasty stuff out as you're putting the good stuff in, and it's going to make you sick. And I don't know if you're like, I mean, most people, when they start a workout plan, they end up sick, and then that's when they get off their wagon. And that's when you have to push through the most, because that's when your body is almost at the end of its rope, letting go of all that nasty junk that's in our body, and it's going to stop revolting. And you're going to, on the other side of that is energy and self-discipline and not so many cravings. And so that's an important one for us to remember, that when we get to this place, that we just push through, that we don't stumble and retreat. And this is also where that scripture I gave you a couple days ago, this is my fight song in situations like this, when I'm about ready to just stumble, fall, and retreat and say, forget it, this is too hard, is Micah 7:8. Do not gloat over me, my enemy. Though I have fallen, I will rise. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light. And get that one memorized. And when you are about ready to grab something out of anxiety or stress to eat that is just not going to be good for you, you just repeat that, or when you don't feel like working out because you just don't have the energy, you just don't feel good, you ask yourself, really, can I really do this? The rule of thumb medically is, if you don't have a fever and the symptoms are above the chest, you can work out. And so give yourself that permission and do a little something. And I'm going to take my own advice. I don't feel really good this morning, but I'm going to push through, and I'm just going to do it. And sometimes I have found the times that I prayed about it and said, God, give me the strength to get this, workout in, and I push through, I find that those are the best workouts I've had. It's like I dug deeper than I did on a normal day because I had to, and I found out what I'm made of, and I have a better workout than I'd been having already. But there have been times when I really am sick, and I start the workout, and after about 10 minutes, I'm lightheaded, and I'm just not feeling well. And then that's when I stop, because my body, it's real, it's legitimate. I tried, I did at least 10 minutes, and I just can't do it. So there are those times we have to listen to our body, but it's really few and far between that we're really sick enough to not work out. Let's see what looking at my notes here. Now I would just make a note about how that's how I feel right now. And I think it has to do with the fact that I took a couple of months of not being so intense with my workouts and my eating regimen, and I was a little more laxed. I wasn't working out nearly as much. I mean, there were a couple of weeks I was only working out once a day. I had gone from working out like 6 days a week to 1 day a week. I was allowing little cheats that had the refined sugar and flour and stuff that I know sets my body off. And then the past couple of weeks, I've really been getting back on track and increasing my workouts and detoxing more, and, not eating any of the bad foods. And I feel horrible this week. Like, I started off great, but towards the end of this week, I feel really bad. Just allergies, like she said. I feel like I have a little touch of the flu and allergies, and just my lungs kind of hurt and just don't feel like myself. But this chapter came at the perfect timing, because I am going to push through. I'm going to, take some medicine, but I'm going to push through, even if it means me going for a walk or just doing a light workout. But I'm just going to keep it up. So, sorry, I lost track again. I'm a little distracted today. I think it's the cold medicine I'm taking. All right, so basically, my notes I've got, I'm so glad this chapter came to us when it did, because it's a reminder that I must push through. And when I do, I will have so much energy and way less cravings. So just remember that. This is temporary. This right here is temporary. This struggle is temporary. When you get to the other side of it, you have so much more energy and less cravings. Also, I want to remind you that, there's different ways of losing weight, depending on how much weight you have to lose or you want to lose. There's different ways to approach it. You can do a little at a time, and it's going to take longer, or you can just knock it out. And I'm the kind of person, I need to just knock it out so that the rest of the time I can coast. So I encourage you to kind of push yourself. If you've got a lot of weight you want to lose and you want to feel better, just take a 2-month sacrifice and do it, and say, look, this is just 2 months of lowering the calories, eating only clean, just not even letting yourself, have hardly any cheats, and working out hard. And you can lose a lot in 2 months. And maybe this isn't the, October and November and December are probably not the best times to do that. And maybe we start that on January 1. We can do it, follow a program and just hit it hard. And you knock some of that, the weight off quick. And then you kind of coast maintenance. You still eat clean, but you eat more. You still work out, but you work out a little less and less intense. So just think about that. And then if you have questions on that, and you want to follow a different approach and you want to get more strict about it, just reach out to me and I can give you some tips and figure out what your calories and macros should be and whatnot. So, all right. So I didn't get very far in chapter 4, so I will pick up where we left off tomorrow in chapter 4. She has a lot more information in this that carries over to other areas of our life other than our health and eating. It's more mental health and making good choices in other areas of our life. So I'm going to stop there, and then I'm going to share with you your verses. I actually thought I had 3 verses. Hold on. I only have 2 here, and I wanted to give you all 3. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to give you 2, and then I've got the other one right here. So the first one is Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 through 10, and verse 12. So that's Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 through 10, and verse 12. The second one is Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17. So that's Proverbs 27, 17. And then the second one is, First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11. Say that again. First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11. All right, so let me close it in prayer. Dear Lord, thank you so much for bringing us ladies together, God, and help us to lean into you more and lean into each other, God. Give us the courage and the ability to be more transparent with each other and learn to lean on you and lean on to each other more and more, God. That we will be an encouragement to one another and that we will be an inspiration to one another and that we will take that seriously throughout the day, God, and that we will come back when we're feeling weak and reach out to each other, God, and that we'll reach out to you more than anything, God, that we reach out to you, and especially with our cravings, God, that we go back to you to fill those voids, God. Thank you so much for pulling this group together and allowing us this time to spend with you, God, and learn more about your word and what you want us to learn. Thank you so much for all your many blessings. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right. Hope y'all have a good day. Bye.